This is the Dodgers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. Why is that not going up there? There it is. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast, a wild card winning postcast, is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB, and you'll have $20 off your first purchase of tickets on Gametime. Fantastic app, big fan, use it all the time. Tonight, the Dodgers get it done, figure out a way. Again, was not pretty. Again, too much shaky stuff from the bullpen, except for ROKI Sasaki, and I agree with the real 005. Sasaki, really the X-effing factor in the bullpen. Yes, I tend to sometimes focus on the negative and overlook the positive. I kind of feel like I did that tonight. There's probably more positive than negative tonight from the bullpen and across the board. But of course, I'm focused in on what Emmett Sheehan did. Come on, Emmett Sheehan. What the hell was that? Ugly. The eighth inning, yesterday and today, an utter disaster. 100+ pitches, a whole mess of hits, a whole mess of runs, but they got it done. And here's the other positive thing that we come away with from the bullpen tonight on the positive side of things. Vesia came back in and got it done. Righted the ship after a terrible night last night. So that's good stuff. That's positive, and I can feel good about that. BC says we run this sport. Listen, BC, everything's good right now, but if you are thinking that Philadelphia is going to be the same kind of pushover the Reds are, you got another thing coming. The Phils have owned the Dodgers this year, and they don't have these same sort of bullpen problems that we do. And I don't know how they fix it, but the fact is that it feels like they need to score 4, 5, 6 more runs than their opposition in order to win a game. And I don't know that that's going to be on the table against the Phils. Let's see what the record is this year. Dodgers versus Phillies record this season. So the Phillies had a 4-2 record against the Dodgers this season. That could be worse. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought it was 6-0. Or at least 5-1, like the Dodgers were against the Reds today, or this season rather. So look, let's look at the positive stuff before we start to embark and dwell on the negative, right? Plenty of positive in this one. And the biggest positive is a series sweep in the wild card.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Once again, lots of offense. The Dodgers put up a ton of runs, 8 to be specific, 8-4 the final, a big 6th inning. Kike reaches on an infield single. Rojas grounds out to first, Kike on to second. Rortvedt safe at first on a throwing error. Then Ohtani singles to right. That scores Kike, Rortvedt on to third. Then Mookie, a double to left, scoring Rortvedt, Ohtani to third. Then they intentionally walk Freddie. And generally speaking, when you've got a hitter coming up that they walk to get to you, that very rarely works out to the benefit of the defensive team. Freddie gets intentionally walked. Teo comes up, doubles to center, sensing the slight. And that scores Ohtani and Mookie. That made it 7-2. But the other big thing here, the Dodgers fell behind 2-0. So to rally back and take a 3-2 lead in the, what was that, the 4th inning? Bottom of the 4th. Yeah, Muncy singles to right. Pajes strikes out. Kike doubles to center. It is just amazing. Kike Tober. It is just remarkable how effective he becomes when the calendar flips to October or the regular season comes to an end and it's now postseason baseball. Kike flips a switch in his brain. It is amazing. And I don't know how he does it, but he thrives in the spotlight of postseason baseball. Rojas then singled to right as Tommy Edman did not play today. That scored Kike to make it 3-2. So battling back. And then, you've got Yamamoto out there doing his thing. It was a little bit shaky. Those 2 runs he gave up in the first unearned. But all we focus on with regard to him was getting out of that jam without a scratch in the 6th inning, striking out Ellie De La Cruz to end the threat by the Reds. That was awesome. That was big boy baseball right there. Big time intensity. And Yamamoto goes 6 2/3 for the win, allows 2 runs, both unearned on 4 hits, walked 2 and struck out 9. The splitter was wicked. The curveball, he had a little bit of everything working tonight, just like Blake Snell did last night, but the splitter is his go-to, and tonight he relied on it. Blake Trinan, a third of an inning, 2 pitches. So maybe he did find that arm slot. Maybe he is back. We'll 2 good performances. We can't complain about what he's done. We can't complain about Emmett Sheehan. A third of an inning coming in the 8th. 2 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 27 pitches, an ERA of 54. Ugh, ouch. So really that was the sore spot. Vesia, 2/3 of an inning, 1 walk, but kind of shook it off and said it's good. And he was right. Ended up with 2 Ks, 14 pitches to get out of it. And then Sasaki comes in to slam the door in the 9th. Holy cow. Do I love seeing him out there doing his thing. He's also got that wicked splitter falling off the table, unhittable practically, through 11 pitches to retire the side. Again, 2 Ks, 8-4 the final. The Dodgers win it. And positively, in my opinion, didn't seem terribly excited. Kind of like, yeah, just doing business. I am curious to know if they did a champagne celebration in the clubhouse tonight. They didn't show any pictures of it on ESPN if they did. So I think it would be awesome if they didn't. I think it would be so cool if they're just like, yeah, whatever. This is business. We're not here to celebrate anything. Winning the wild card is not what we're after. But after the DS, if they are able to get past Philly, they will celebrate then. They could be celebrating right now. I don't know. If you guys are still watching and they're showing the celebration, let me know because I am in here talking to you. But I think it would be so cool if they just didn't do that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Baseball has too many celebrations, right? It's the only sport that celebrates as much as they do. It's kind of ridiculous. So if they just said, we're good, have a beer, something like that, high five, relax, turn on the music. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Victor Contreras believes, as many of us do, the Dodgers have found their closer in Roki Sasaki. Amen, man. I've said this before too, and I'll keep saying it. Closers like routine. Pitchers like routine. When they know when they're going to pitch, it's better for them because they can kind of get into the mindset and get ready for that opportunity. They can prepare. One of the things I don't know about Sasaki that I feel like most closers have and desperately need is one screw a little bit loose. They have to be a little bit crazy, a little bit touched. And Sasaki does not seem that way. He seems very level-headed. So, not all of the closers are that way, but most of the good ones are, right? Most of the good ones are a little bit, another one that I feel is pretty level-headed. Former Dodger closer, now Angel closer, Kenley Jansen. Didn't seem like there was anything wrong with that guy. He seemed very down to earth. Aroldis Chapman, former Yankee, now Red Sox closer, also very level-headed dude. But a lot of them are just a little bit left of center and a little bit crazy, and that's beneficial. That's a beautiful thing, right? They come in there and they have that ability to just kind of harness that craziness and put it into their arm. So Roki Sasaki doesn't seem like that type of guy, but he pitches like that type of guy. And that's what we love. That's what we want to see. A guy that comes in, give me the ball. I'm going to go in there and take care of business. Look, that's the thing I've loved about Vesia too. So I feel like Vesia is just, geared up, wound a little bit tighter than the rest of us. And that's what you need as a reliever in a high leverage situation. So nice to see the Dodgers finish this one off, that it didn't get hairy again after an ugly 8th inning. 8-4 the final over the Reds. Shohei Ohtani 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Mookie Betts 4 hits. 4 hits for Mookie Betts.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
3 doubles for Mook. How about that? Awesome. When the top of the lineup is producing, the Dodgers, generally speaking, are going to be just fine for the majority of the game. Freddie Freeman 0 for 4, and Teo, the 2 RBI double, 1 for 5. And we'll get to Kike's night as he continues to roll after the break. We'll get to the turning point as well. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like catching a game live. A baseball game, football game, basketball game, whatever it is, concerts, comedy as well. You can find tickets for all of those things on Gametime. The energy of the crowds, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting tickets, that can be the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. It takes the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, because it's always the best deal. And they have cool features like views from the seat. And they're backed by a Gametime guarantee. You always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. So download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDON MLB. And you get $20 off your first purchase. Swipe, tap, ticket. Go download Gametime today. Tonight's episode also brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's the 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't know all of what's going on, you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why Monarch Money is there for you, and that's why you need it. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. You know what's going out: gas, food, rent, mortgage, etc. You know what's coming in, your investments, your 401ks, your rental properties, and it puts it all there for you and consolidates it. So download it today. Don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONMLB. Tonight's episode also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has a special offer for you that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if that first bet wins. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets. So what are you waiting for? Get in on the action. Baseball playoffs, NFL season, hockey's right around the corner. Basketball's right around the corner. Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. We come on right after the game and break it down for you with instant reaction. We'll be here after every game as long as the Dodgers are still alive. Bruce says, let's take it. Where did Bruce go? Let's see what OJ says. Our starting rotation and lineup are 2 OD. We're winning in 4. 2 OD. What's OD? OD. 2 OD. Must be some cool young person lingo that I don't know. Bruce says, let's take it one game at a time. All right. I mean, is it just coincidence that the bullpen again was very shaky? And again, really, it was just Emmett Sheehan. But I mean, the starter works into the 7th. Trinan comes in for that last out of the 7th. So through 7 innings with very little action. And, then here comes Emmett Sheehan, who, I got to be honest, my friends were like, what the hell is he doing in the game? And I'm like, just relax. He's fine. He's going to come in there and take care of business. And he didn't. He kind of seemed overwhelmed by the moment. It seemed like the lights were just a tad too bright for him. So look, maybe he can shake it off. I don't know. He's not a reliever. So maybe it's not exactly the best position for him. Maybe they, make some roster changes going into the DS. I sure would love to see Anthony Bonda back on this roster and Clayton Kershaw. I think it was an utter travesty that both of those dudes did not make this roster. So maybe Sheehan's gone and Kershaw's back in there. Kershaw in the middle of the game would be absolutely fine. But the way the starters are going, working, into the 6th and 7th inning, I don't see any reason that won't continue. Are you going to bring Kershaw in the 8th? Maybe. I don't know. You could bring him in to get one out based on matchups. He's definitely cool. He's definitely experienced. He understands the enormity of the situation. I don't know. And Bonda's pitched very well. I have no idea why they left Anthony Bonda off the roster. It just is. He's got to be so twisted up. I don't get it. Let me look at his stats real quick. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. But I thought he had a fantastic year. I thought he pitched very well in tough spots, high leverage situations. Let's see. Let's look at his last 5 games. Pitched against the Mariners on the 26th inning and the 3rd, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Pitched against the Diamondbacks the day before, 2 Ks, 1 inning. The Giants, he gave up 1 hit on the 20th. On the 18th against the Giants, 0s and 1 K. Against the Phillies on the 16th, 1 inning, 1 walk, the rest 0s. On the 15th against the Phils, he gave up a home run. And that was the last run that he gave up as a pitcher, September 15th. Rockies, they don't count. Against the Orioles, 2/3 of an inning, he gave up 2 walks. That was kind of an ugly outing back on September 5th. And against the Pirates on September 2nd, 2/3 of an inning, 0s across the board. So in the month of September, Anthony Bonda gave up 2 runs, 1 of them on a home run. He did walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. He walked 6 guys in the month of September. I don't know. I don't get it. Victor agrees with me, and I like Victor now. Not that I didn't like you before, Victor, but yeah, maybe it's the time. There was probably a fairly logical reason that they left him off the roster. I don't get it, but it wasn't just willy-nilly. There had to be some statistical advantage to leaving him and Kershaw off the roster. Probably, I think what it boiled down to ultimately is there would have been too many lefties and not enough righties, right? Because look, I don't know if they're going to keep that center field guy. What's his name? Reed or something? Dean. I don't know if they're going to keep him on the roster either. That's also a wasted spot. They do have to keep the 3rd catcher though, because Will Smith is a question mark with the thumb, but you don't need Dean as a defensive replacement. That was a wasted spot. So maybe you lose one of the right-handers and bring Kershaw and Bonda back. I don't know, probably too many lefties when you get right down to it. But the fact is that they need those guys. They need that experience and they need that productive approach. Whatever you want to call it, productive outings from those guys. It doesn't make sense to me to not have them on the roster. And I'm really hoping that, again, like I said last night, I don't know that I've ever been that twisted up over a postseason roster. 3 guys, we were like, what is going on here? Right. You look at that and say, that's not normal. So I think they said we should get by Cincinnati, no problem. And then we'll get this kind of lined up a little bit better. but who knows? We'll have to just wait and see. 8-4 the final tonight. Yamamoto gets the win, going 6 2/3. ROKI Sasaki comes in to close it up and takes care of business and looks very good doing it. Mookie Bett's 4 hits on the night, 2 hits for KIKE Hernandez, who just continues to shine and soak up the October energy, just thrive in this moment. 2 for 5 tonight, 2 runs scored and 1 RBI. He will not be on the bench anytime soon. Miggy Rojas with a pair of hits and Ben Wartvet with a pair of hits as well. The offense is rolling. The starting pitching is rolling. We all just need to keep our fingers crossed about the bullpen. That's going to do it for us tonight here on the Locked On Dodgers postcast as they take care of the Reds in 2, on to face the Phillies in Philadelphia. That series is still TBD. It'll be on TBS, True TV, and HBO Max, but they have not set a date as of yet. So I'm sure you'll find out as soon as it is announced, and we'll be here right afterwards to break it down when it is over. Nothing tomorrow, then probably nothing Friday. Maybe they get underway Friday. Trojans are off Saturday, so I'll be back for sure doing the Locked On Chargers squad show on Sunday and with our midweek edition tomorrow. So check me out there on the Locked On Chargers YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate the comments. You guys take care. Have a good